A single streetlight flickers above an empty alley. The hum of a distant highway fades into the night as cold wind slides between silent buildings. Somewhere in that darkness, something has been forgotten. Not lost, forgotten. Buried beneath decades of paperwork, shifting headlines, and fading memories. Above it all, the city moves on. Cars pass. Windows glow warmly. Laughter drifts from late-night diners. Life continues, unaware that just beneath the surface, unanswered questions still wait patiently for someone to notice them again. Across the United States, stories occasionally emerge that never become national headlines. They live instead in the margins. Brief local reports, archived police files, or quiet conversations passed between neighbors who still remember when something felt wrong. In small towns and major cities alike, people have vanished without explanation. Someone leaves for work and never arrives. A student walks home and disappears between 2 blocks. A neighbor moves away except no one ever saw them pack. Investigations begin as they always do. Reports are filed, interviews conducted, leads followed. But sometimes those leads end abruptly, and what remains is not a solved case, only silence. For families, silence is not closure. It is a question that never stops asking itself. By the early 1980s, investigative journalists began noticing patterns buried within separate cases across different states. Articles in independent newspapers suggested connections between disappearances, organized criminal activity, and systemic delays in response. Witnesses spoke cautiously, often requesting anonymity. Some described fear, others described pressure to remain quiet. A few simply withdrew their statements entirely. At the time, communication between law enforcement agencies was far from seamless. Records moved slowly across jurisdictions, if they moved at all. Filing systems varied widely. Some departments preserved meticulous documentation, while others relied on fragmented notes, misplaced reports, or outdated storage practices. These inconsistencies created blind spots, and blind spots, once formed, are difficult to illuminate. In 1994, a federal administrative review unexpectedly revealed troubling gaps in archived records across multiple agencies. Some files showed alterations to dates or names. Others appeared incomplete. Still more were missing entirely from collections that should have contained them. Officials attributed the irregularities to technological limitations and record-keeping practices of earlier decades. Yet, for many observers, the discovery raised uncomfortable questions that could not be easily dismissed. As the new millennium began, digital databases replaced many paper systems. Information became easier to share, easier to store, and easier to analyze. Between 2000 and 2010, several whistleblowers came forward claiming that certain investigations in past decades had been prematurely closed or evidence mishandled. Some claims were later verified through internal reviews. Others remained unresolved, lacking sufficient documentation to confirm or refute them fully. For families, these developments stirred a complicated mixture of hope and frustration. Every reopened file suggested the possibility of answers. Every missing record suggested those answers might never come. The emotional cost of unresolved cases stretches across generations. Parents grow older still waiting for a call. Children grow up knowing relatives only through photographs. Holidays carry the quiet presence of someone who should be there but isn't. Around 2015, advances in forensic science reshaped what investigators considered possible. DNA analysis became faster, more precise, and more affordable. Evidence long stored in forgotten boxes was re-examined with modern techniques. In some cases, biological links connected crimes previously thought unrelated, different states, different decades, but the same trace left behind. Even then, progress rarely meant certainty. Time degrades evidence. Memories fade. Witnesses move away or pass on. Each new discovery often answered one question while raising several more. By 2020, renewed interest from podcasts, documentary series, and investigative journalists pushed long-dormant cases back into public conversation. Their work did not always uncover definitive proof of wrongdoing, but it highlighted systemic vulnerabilities, delays, oversights, and gaps that may have allowed some crimes to slip quietly beyond scrutiny. Evidence in such cases rarely forms a complete picture. Police reports confirm certain facts. Forensic data confirms others. Media investigations reveal patterns that may or may not hold under legal examination. Each fragment adds clarity, yet none alone provides the full story. Experts remain divided on what these patterns ultimately mean. Some argue they reflect bureaucratic inefficiency common to earlier decades. Others believe structural weaknesses may have enabled deliberate concealment in specific cases. Both perspectives rely on incomplete archives, making definitive conclusions difficult even for seasoned researchers. What remains indisputable is the human impact. Every case represents a life interrupted and a family left searching for meaning. Communities carry these memories quietly. Stories persist in local history long after national attention fades. For those seeking answers, the process can be exhausting. Requests for records move slowly. Files must be located, verified, and sometimes reconstructed from partial information. Public interest shifts constantly, yet personal loss remains unchanged by time. Some children of victims choose to pursue careers in law, journalism, or forensic science, hoping knowledge might reveal what years of waiting could not. Others step away from the past entirely, choosing distance over uncertainty. Both responses reflect different ways of surviving unanswered questions. Criminologists often compare hidden crime patterns to icebergs. The visible portion consists of confirmed cases documented in public records. Beneath the surface may lie additional evidence, overlooked connections, or unresolved events that never received sufficient attention. Legal scholars emphasize that transparency strengthens trust naturally. When systems operate openly, confidence grows. When records disappear or remain sealed without explanation, doubt expands into suspicion. Trust does not require perfection, only consistency and visibility. Technology now offers tools once unimaginable. Databases connect cases across jurisdictions instantly. Forensic analysis extracts information from samples once considered useless. Digital archives preserve documents that might previously have deteriorated. Each advancement acts like a light moving slowly through darkness, revealing shapes that were always present but never fully seen. Still, some truths may remain permanently out of reach. Fires destroy records. Floods erase evidence. Witnesses vanish into time. History does not always preserve its answers neatly for future generations. Yet even partial clarity can restore dignity to forgotten stories. A confirmed detail, a verified connection, or a reopened investigation can transform silence into recognition, and recognition matters deeply to those who have waited longest. What we know with reasonable certainty is this: unresolved crimes exist across decades, supported by varying levels of documentation. Families continue to feel their absence. Communities continue to remember. What remains unknown is the full scope of what happened and why. Looking forward, it is likely that cold cases will continue reopening as technology improves and public awareness grows. Investigators may uncover connections previously invisible. At the same time, some answers may remain permanently incomplete. This story is not only about crime or failure. It is about accountability, persistence, and the enduring human search for truth. Each reopened file represents a chance to understand history more clearly than before. The goal is not fear, but clarity. Behind every unresolved case is a real life, a real family, and a real community shaped by absence. Recognizing that reality brings us closer to justice, even when answers arrive too late for those who first sought them. History rarely reveals itself fully in the moment it unfolds. Only through patience, investigation, and openness can societies begin to understand their past, including the parts they might prefer to forget. For those still searching, the work continues. Archives remain to be reviewed. Evidence waits to be re-examined. Stories long buried still deserve to be heard. Because behind every hidden crime is not just a mystery, but a life that mattered and still does.